you are fighting a lot. I see young people rising up. I see leaders. I have taken some time to read their policy papers, the manifestos. I see what is going on. But what is amazing me is that even those who are trying to fight the dictator cannot comprehensively define what freedom is. And to that end, there is a fundamental problem premised on that if at all we cannot define the social cohesiveness or the social institutions or ideas that should govern the society, we cannot ably have a better governance system. We cannot have a rule of democracy. We cannot have a better constitutionalism. We cannot write a better constitution. We shall write a constitution that empowers dictators. And most people fight for freedom that they don't understand. They want freedom to take away the freedom of others. That is what I see in most policy paper, the manifesto of those fighting the dictator. And sometimes, quote me, I'm convinced that after fighting dictator Museveni, we are likely to have another dictator. Dictatorship is not the tendency of an individual, but the tendency, it's the tendency of ideas that individual cherishes. It's the policy. Dictatorship emanates from the institutions and policies are a result of ideas that empower such dictatorial tendencies. You can imagine how much power we give a politician, and if you want to know what that means, is the more power we give a politician, the more freedom we lose. Freedom in terms of political, association, and economic. That is economic freedom. You see, today you don't have, as a culture leader, you don't have freedom to be in politics. You may wonder why I'm laughing. Every Uganda has a right to participate in politics. The king, the religious leader, and everybody has a right to participate in politics. Everyone has that fundamental right. But when you come up and say that the religious leaders, the cultural institutions are not supposed, I don't know if they are not Ugandans, if they don't have that natural fundamental right. So, when you are defining freedom, it should be basic enough to know that every individual has a freedom to act as he wills, provided that individual does not interfere with freedom of others. So that is the basic, and that is the basis from which we can define the policies, that everyone has an extreme freedom to do, to act, to behave how that individual wills, provided that individual does not violate the freedom of others. I have a right to swing my hand to the next end, provided my hand does not land on your ear. So, there should even the politicians should not have the power to regulate. I mean, to take away the freedom of others, which is happening today in Uganda. We have given we violated the constitution. We have abrogated the constitution. We have given politicians too much power to act at reverse. And if you look at the power of the politician having power to reward himself so much money from the taxpayers' money. The members of parliament sitting, determining how much they should steal legally from the people. They make a stupid constitution. They use the stupid constitution to steal people's money, to reward themselves with millions of money. When the hospitals they claim tax for have no drugs, the schools they claim tax and service when they have no teachers, have no equipment, have no classes. The roads they tax to build when they are when they are full of potholes. When the service sector is in dire condition, when every institution are mad with corruption. So they're using the constitution to plunder, to steal taxpayers' money, to steal and break the economy. So if we cannot have a clear value basis, a basis from which we can define the power, I mean the laws, the policies, then there will be a fundamental problem of defining a better governance system where institutions will be respected and fundamental human rights respected and guaranteed by the politicians. So before you make a lot of noise, before we tend to support individuals, to fight against dictators, we should also have it back of our mind to analyze the policies, the power of politicians. How are they? Do they really promote good governance? Do they really promote human rights? We need to ask ourselves, how do policies violate freedom? How? Those are some of the questions we should ask ourselves. If we give much power to an individual, it has its great negative implications to economy. Look at the power we give to Mr. Museveni. He has power over the army, the money. He has power is the appointing authority. That means that he has excessive power to abuse. He can abuse institutions. He can abuse freedom without limitations, without much limitations. So when we are making policies, when we are making constitution, we should be very, very vigilant as far as power distribution is concerned. We should have a limited government, in that the politicians should be actually controlled. If we control politicians, people will have enough freedom. And we should clearly define the roles of government. We should not use the government to steal people. The major role of government should be security, justice, and defense. That is the army, police, and justice judiciary. The rest of the roles should be secondary enough to the extent that they should not violate freedom of Ugandans. So I appeal to those fighting to dispose of the dictator, to look at the policies that are pro-liberty, the free market policies that allows everyone to enjoy his life, the product of his effort, and also live and let live. Thank you. I'm Joram Mwesik, a libertarian and a human rights activist.